So in this video, I would like to talk to you about what a QQT question looks like and how it's graded, okay, to give you a better understanding of how to approach the problem. Here's the 2019's FRQ question. This is number 2, and this is the QQT for that year, okay. Looking at this scenario, we know that this comes from the force section. The first question is worth 2 points here. Okay, so the first one, it asks this question, but look at the way it's graded. Okay, 1, you get 1 point for a correct answer and attempting a consistent justification, and you get the other point for the correct reasoning. So here, let's say here it says estimate the magnitude of the acceleration of the block after release, right? And you said it was small, and that's it. You wouldn't get this full point, because it says and attempt a consistent justification. Okay, so you would say it's small because the more inertia is given to the block A, therefore it resists movement more. Okay, that's the justification. If that reason was enough, they would give you the second point. Okay, also look here that the representation in this sense is the picture. Okay, same thing here, right? Estimate the magnitude of the acceleration and explain your answer. Notice for part 2 you only get 1 point, okay, and you would have to give the exact reason, and again it's broken down by claim, evidence, and reason. Part B, visually, again here and here, each one of these gives you a point distribution on where the force is labeled, and you want to make sure that you're labeling it correctly with the correct lengths. Certain things they do not accept is writing G, big G or little g, for the force of gravity. You have to put F subscript G, okay, or mg. All right, same thing with force of tension. Make sure you write it as F of T, and it's a big case T, or just the big case T. Okay, so make sure you're labeling it right with the right nomenclature. All right. Part C, when it says derived an equation, deriving an equation requires you to start from a first principles point of view. So what that means is you have to start with Newton's second law, or something from the formula sheet. And I think from the formula sheet you have something like this. Acceleration is equal to the summation of F is equal to the mass. You could start here, or you could just write the other version of Newton's second law. The summation of the forces is equal to mass times acceleration. Okay, but you would have to start from that and somehow get to this final answer. Okay, and look at the way the points are given. They give 1 for using separate Newton's second law equation for each block, 2 for combining it correctly, and 3 for the correct answer. So even if you didn't get the correct answer because you screwed up your algebra, you could still earn the first 2 points. Part D, okay, you would have to select yes or no. Does the equation for the acceleration of the block for C agree with your reason in part A? All right, so here's the thing. They do not give you a point here for the for writing yes or no. They only give you the correct answer for valid reasonings that addresses the parts, and you would have to refer back to your equation. All right, they only give you 1 correct point here. Same thing with E. Okay, even if you select the correct one and you did not give a reason, they do not give you a point, right? But let's say you select the wrong one, right? You could still earn a point by demonstrating some physics, right? Every single one of these questions asks you to briefly explain, briefly explain, briefly explain, briefly explain. You have to understand the core concept or the idea of that to justify the mathematics. In no here that they ask you to calculate anything. Part C is the only deriving something, and this is an easy deriving an equation that you could look up in your notebook. It's an open notebook test, right? So hopefully this gives you a better understanding of how the points work, why the answer is more important in terms of the explanation on when it's graded. Okay, remember, they will not give you points if you do not explain how you got your answer.